Yo, what is going on YouTube? I'm Nick, back in with another video. Today's video is a bit different than the usual WoW content. It's been a little bit of a break since our last WoW video, but we've been playing some D4 beta, and now we've been playing Path of Exile, the new Crucible League. Been having a ton of fun. As you can see by the title, I have managed to farm up a Mageblood through Apothecary cards, which I just sold my items for currency and bought the cards. I didn't farm any of the cards like in Crimson Temples or anything like that. I'm currently level 98 on my Ranger, which actually wasn't my League starter. I League started EK Ignite, but the chess piece, Skin of the Loyal or Lords, were incredibly rare due to the Breach nerf. So the first ones that were popping up were like 20, 30 Divines, and I wasn't willing to spend that much currency on an item that I wasn't too sure if I was actually going to exist. And those initial ones also had keystones on them that would actually brick your build, so they were very useless. But yeah, so we're going to turn in the cards here, and we're going to pray for a 4 roll. Ugh. Oh, we got 4 off the rip. That's good. That'll save us some divines for now. We're going to roll this up real quick. Let's get our blessings. Get to a 35, please. 35. There we go. And then we'll just slam some attribute qualifiers on it. There we go. Now, you may see that my character also has a headhunter. So, I was an incredibly lucky person this league and managed to drop this headhunter in a arcade map off the bosses. So I just got a random drop, very lucky. And I also didn't sell it early because I wanted to utilize my luck to help me farm faster, considering the league mechanics that I did. I ended up doing, I did I did Legion with Essences, and I was mainly doing Searing Exarch altars the whole time, but I have swapped to Eater of Worlds, not because the money is good or anything like that, but like literally just because I want to grind out this challenge, and I'm already at 203 altars, and then I'll be swapping back once I finish that. I end up grinding all 750 altars out, ages ago with just red altars. We'll do our slash kills. We've killed 1.2 million monsters on our Ranger, and I think we killed about just under 300k on our Elementalist. I re-rolled this build when I had 20 Divines. That was without Omni. Omni was like the most sort of expensive purchase. I bought a unlinked Hyries chest piece initially. My bow was 4 div on like day 3 when I re-rolled. The gloves were like 50c, helmet was like 50c, quiver was like 25c. A bunch of cheap gear. The jewels I thought were really important to invest in early. I bought this Throw of Hope for 5 div, which is about their current price still, and then I also bought a Lionize 4, which was 5 div back then, and they are currently, 9 div. I bought this jewel here for 3 div. They're almost at 4 div, so it's just a bunch of sort of like early buys that have actually kind of accumulated currency if I decide to sell my character. Same with my Omni, I bought it for 18, and then I divined it once, so 19 div, and they're about 21 at the moment. Venging Cascade is super good for this build. This is pretty much just like roughly Kobe's Lightning Arrow build. Super fun, nice and easy, perfect for the content that I chose to do. The maps that I ended up running were cemeteries. I actually ran a couple maps. So I ran my first start was I started with cemetery and arcade, ping-ponging back and forth because you want to have the connected maps, so it helps you sustain initially. So I was ping-ponging between cemetery and arcade, and then I was like, like Dunes is really good for Legion. And then I headed over to Dunes, so I have a bunch of Dunes, and I was also ping-ponging with Fields. But then I was like, I didn't get a 5 div card from my cemeteries. I actually got pranked, and I got the 5 exalt card. So I was like, no, I'm going to go back to the cemetery arcade ping-ponging, so that's where I've been since then. Other things I did to help sort of generate currency was I was rolling sextants on my maps because I was like getting a bunch from the red altars. So I was rolling. The only thing I was doing was chiseling my maps, alching my maps, and then sextanting my maps. But I wasn't using the super expensive ones. Whenever I'd get a good sextant, I would just put it in the little little compasses, and I would just sell them. Currently, I'm not selling a lot of my sextants because I want to like save them for future farming. But early on, I was definitely selling, anything that was like 25C plus. I would just sell it instantly. Lots of the like Shaper Guardian map sextants. These Enraged Strongbox sextants are super expensive, and just stuff like that. Another thing I really enjoyed sort of doing was just like whenever I'd find like the fractured bases on the ground in the maps, I would just like ID them. It's kind of time consuming, but it is well worth it in my opinion because you can find some like T1 like life or like suppress high rolls. And then with the essences that I'm also farming, I would just like throw like cheap essences that weren't selling at the items. And like sometimes you'd hit something nice, you just put it up for like, 50C, 60C or 1 div, 2 div, depending on like how good the item is, and just selling it off. I didn't have any super duper high ticket items. Nothing worth more than like 1 or 2 div. So it was a bit of a slower grind. But yeah, that's why I didn't also sell my headhunter, because I just wanted to farm faster. Also another thing that I like to do was doing cluster jewels. So because I was doing Delhi mirrors on my maps, just like natty proc ones, because we're doing stream of consciousness, and then blocking pretty much everything else, so it's like the only things that can pop up. I would get a bunch of cluster jewel bases, which I even have them put in separate tabs here. And these are only like 8 passives and then 4 passives. And then what I would do is with all my alchemy orbs and scourings, I would just alch scour, alch scour, alch scour until I hit like a 2 mod on the mediums or a 3 mod on the larges. Price it. If it was 20C, 25C, then I'd throw it in my jewel tab and list them up. And they slowly sell over the time because people just want random combinations at times. So yeah, it's not too bad. I don't like to also liquidate like everything. I'm a very like picky person as to what I like to sell and what I like to keep stocked up for myself. Like I do not like selling my alterations, my augments, chances, GCPs, chisels, all these like sort of currencies that, a lot of people will just like absolutely sell out of. And then as soon as they need to start mapping again, they'll be like, "Oh man, I don't have any of that. I need to go and buy them." And it's like that just defeats the whole purpose to me. I like to have a bunch of stuff on hand in case I ever need to roll stuff, because it's also a pain to message like 30 people and just not get anyone to reply. But yeah, I think that's going to be everything for the video, guys. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask in the comments below. Please leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more PoE content. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.